Hello, everyone. Today, Meghan Hayes, a former special assistant to President Joe Biden and a Democratic strategist. She's speaking out strongly about Donald Trump's recent use of the National Guard in American cities, and her words are sparking major debate. Hayes argues that Trump isn't just using the Guard to address crime. She believes it's all about power and control. In her own words, she says Trump wants to be a dictator. He worships someone like Putin and wants that same power here in the United States. Now let's break down what's happening. The Trump administration has deployed more than 2,000 National Guard troops into Washington, D.C., and could expand into cities like Chicago and Baltimore, both Democratic strongholds. Officially, the White House claims this is to fight crime. But on the ground, reports suggest otherwise. Troops have been spotted picking up trash, taking photos with tourists, and standing guard in low-crime, tourist-heavy areas like the National Mall, rather than patrolling neighborhoods actually struggling with violence. Hayes points out that this approach is more theater than solution. She notes that crime in D.C. has already been declining compared to past years, but without real investments in policing and community programs, the National Guard's presence will disappear after 30 days, leaving cities right back where they started. So why send them at all? Hayes says it's about sending a political message that Trump is in control and willing to exert power, even if it means pushing the limits of the Constitution. She explains that the National Guard is supposed to be used for disaster relief or crowd control, not domestic law enforcement. Unless the Insurrection Act is invoked, using the Guard this way is unconstitutional. But as she points out, Trump often acts first, and by the time courts catch up, the damage is already done. When asked whether Trump would even obey court rulings against him, Hayes was blunt. She doesn't think so, pointing to recent examples where unconstitutional moves, from tariffs to immigration crackdowns, went ahead anyway, only being challenged months later. She also warns that Trump's governing style is weakening key American institutions. According to her, in just a few months, his administration has already tried to undermine the CDC, dismantle parts of the Federal Reserve, and reshape how the legislative branch functions. She says the damage could take years to repair, even after Trump leaves office. Now, what about the politics? Democrats are pushing back hard. Governors like Gavin Newsom of California and J.B. Pritzker of Illinois are loudly rejecting the idea of federal troops in their states. Mayors in cities like Chicago and Baltimore are doing the same, but without controlling Congress, the presidency, or the courts, their options are limited. Looking ahead, Democrats are finding some hope in local elections. Hayes points out that since Trump's election, Democrats have been outperforming in dozens of special elections, even flipping deep red districts. This, she believes, could be a sign of stronger opposition building toward the midterms and the next presidential race. As for 2024, names like Gavin Newsom are already being floated as potential Democratic challengers. Hayes, who's from California, says she admires Newsom's energy but isn't convinced he's the right fit nationally. Still, she insists, anything is better than what we have right now. In the end, Meghan Hayes paints a picture of a president she believes is more interested in power than public safety, and one who may be reshaping America's institutions in ways that will last long after his presidency. So what's your take? Drop a comment below.